Hello and welcome to the first episode of Hot Takes. This is where we talk and discuss about hot takes and unpopular opinions about music. There's no time for chit chat, guys. Let's get straight into it. Most companies' albums are lacking. You can tell which song was made to be the title. It's higher quality, better produced, more interesting to listen to, and their B-sides are often poorly produced or just straight up boring. SM are the only company who have thoroughly well produced albums, which most B-sides could have made as a title track. No, I kind of don't agree with this. Like, in general, there aren't particular companies that in general do albums better. SM have made bad albums before. They've made poorly produced albums. In general, though, production isn't really the issue in the K-pop industry. Production is fine. It's flavor, it's personality that the issue. They don't shine through on these albums or projects, or that is the major issue. But there are loads of groups, Day6, BTS, even Stray Kids and Luna at the moment, where personalities are shining through a little bit more, which I'm quite liking. In terms of the B-sides, there's some very, very good B-sides out there in the K-pop industry. I don't really agree with that in general. Cute concepts are actually better than girl crush bad boy concepts. That's just an opinion. I mean, there's no really objective way to look at that. I personally, if I'm going into a comeback, I'm going to be a little bit more excited to see sort of like a bad boy girl crush comeback rather than a cute concept, just because of the type of music that's going to come with it. But in general, I'm very open-minded about comebacks. I don't really care much about the visuals. For me, it's all about the music. FX have the best girl group discography. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think they have an incredibly good back catalogue. For me, the only other girl group that could maybe rival them in terms of quality back catalogue would be Anyone. But yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't disagree that FX have the best girl group catalogue. Holland is not a good singer and doesn't make good music. He's only popular because he's gay. Had he not come out, the majority of his audience fans wouldn't care less about his music. I disagree with the fact that Holland is a good singer. He has some vocal chops. I think he does have talent. I haven't really enjoyed much of his music so far. That's just personal, though. And he's only popular because he's gay. I mean, that's, debatable. I personally think it had a lot to do with his popularity right now, but we don't know for sure. So it's all up in the clouds, there's not really much point in debating that. Blackpink are overly hyped. In what way? I in terms of the quality of music, I would tend to agree with you. Really, for me, they've only dropped 3 really good songs, but then again, they've only dropped like 10 songs now. In general, overhyped, blah, 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 it's a very hard thing to prove. You can't really prove a group is overhyped. So I sort of agree, but also disagree. BTS have a good rap and vocal line, but I think their vocal line is overhyped. Yeah, I mean, I can understand this opinion. In general, I think BTS have one of the best rap lines out there. Their vocal line, they're very, very talented, but they don't necessarily have the range of some other vocal lines. Overly hyped, I think most people recognize this within, armies, I guess. Most people do recognize that, so I don't know about overhyped. I prefer Killing Me to Love Scenario. That's a fine opinion. Killing Me is a great track. Love Scenario is a great track. Personally, I would edge towards Love Scenario. I love the plinky instrumentation. I think it's such an interesting, fun song. And Killing Me is great though, so yeah, wouldn't disagree. Most music that comes out of JYP is bad. No, I actually really disagree with this. I think JYP have a lot of good groups at the moment, and they have a lot of very, very talented musicians under their label. I think about people like Jimin Park. Stray Kids are making waves. I mean, it's debatable with Twice. Do they make good music? They certainly make catchy, popular music. A lot of their music I wouldn't consider to be necessarily good, but I don't think I can take away from what they've done either. Streaming for views is unnecessary, and people are obsessing about it too much. Yes, completely agree. Like, right down to the bare bones, I so agree with this. I think streaming is one of the most pointless things in the world, and people make such a big deal about it, so much so that they put in hours into this just so they can get like 20 views counted on the music video. They'll watch the video 100 times or whatever, they'll stream it 100 times, but it will only get counted 10 to 20 times. And everybody does this. It's not organic. People know it's not organic. So I sort of view it as pointless, and a lot of people see it as a way of falsely increasing view counts on videos and songs, and it doesn't actually give you a realistic proportion of how many people are actually listening to and watching a music video. It's sort of a way of cheating, but it's allowed in a way. And I don't really care for it. I don't do it, so that is what it is. I don't really care about that sort of thing. I listen to music that, you know, sometimes has like 2,000 views or listens on it, and that music is just as good as the songs that have 80 million views on, because music quality doesn't have any relevance to how many listens a song has. So yeah, I do agree with that hot take. Wolf is actually a bop. I love to shit on Wolf. I do. It's funny because it is such a weird, bad song. Is it a bop? I mean, it's certainly catchy at some points, and it's quite fun to listen to at various points. I wouldn't consider it a bop. It's not a very good song. Do you think BTS make great music, or is it just their fans? I'm assuming you're asking, is it just their fans that think it's good? I think BTS make good music. I do. I think they have some very talented in-house producers. I think there's some great vocalists. The rap line are great. They write good songs. They tackle important points. Good music, I would say in general, yeah. I actually really thought BTS Tier was a superb album with some fantastic songs. The structuring was relevant and interesting. It was fast. It had lots of different genres, and it was very experimental. So yeah, I think they do make good music, and I think they are a good example of the way K-pop groups are going. So, you know, BTS aren't necessarily the most experimental group, but you can see lots of other groups are trying different things. Companies are like, well, now we got to move on. NCT Empathy, that was kind of an experimental album. I also really dug the Stray Kids project, Luna, Idol as well. They were all making strides to become more and more experimental. EXO have been experimental for years, and you know, all these groups are gradually moving towards more creativity, people writing their own songs, because that's what people want these days. And I think that's a lot of progress is being made there, and I like that, and that's part of the reason I respect BTS a lot. NCT and Luna are overly hyped. I think you were the one that's talked about overhyped before. And I mean, in what way? NCT overly hyped? They're just promoted by SM a lot, and there are a lot of very talented members in that group, and they make some fun, interesting music. And Luna have only just debuted. People are excited for a new project. So I don't know about overly hyped. They haven't really had a chance. BTS genuinely make good music, and just because they have a large following made up of a lot of younger female fans, people like to invalidate their achievements. Yes, it's very easy to look at a group like BTS and just think, oh, they're just like One Direction. They make stupid, silly music for stupid, silly, young teenage girls. I completely disagree with that take, and I really agree with your take in general. They make good music, and I don't think that should in their fandom should invalidate the fact that they make good music. And I think that's where I will end off today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I want to do these at least once a week, probably on something like a lazy Sunday. I think that's easy enough for me, because in general, you don't really get K-pop comebacks on a Sunday. I also want to let you guys know that I will be doing more general music reactions on this channel as well, like you saw with my Brockhampton video the other day. I will be doing more of those, because Ginnoville, I really enjoyed it, but it hasn't really worked out. Every month I'd be losing subscribers rather than gaining, and the channel just didn't really take off. Even though a lot of people seem to enjoy that content, it just hasn't really taken off. So I'm just going to transition it over to this channel, because in general I find I don't have much to upload when it's, you know, we're going through a dry K-pop spell of nothing being released, or there's no comebacks. So like recently there hasn't really been much. I'm just waiting for the Icon comeback, but between now and then there isn't really anything happening. So yeah, I'm going to be doing more general music like the Brockhampton, you know, whenever something hip hop or R&B related that I really want to listen to, want to talk about comes out, I will probably make a video about it, that sort of thing. So just, you know, if you're interested in that, that's going to be happening, but hopefully we'll get a couple of new subscribers in who are interested in that content. But there will always be K-pop content on this channel. I will always be discussing it in these sort of videos, and yeah, I hope you stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, share. That's all really, really cool. Thank you for watching. This is going to be Ginno signing out. See you guys soon.